One of the most common things that I get asked from any level of fitness is always, what should I be having before my workout? And this is a classic example of putting the cart before the horse, meaning we're looking at small picture thinking and ignoring the things that actually matter most. But still, like I said, it's a very common question. It's important enough for me to make a video on it. So here we are. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy John Mango, and I'm back representing Beyond the Iron, where I drop weekly fitness content on this channel to help you get to your goals faster and more enjoyably. So if you're interested in doing so, consider subscribing below. Also, if you're interested, I have some specific recommendations for different body types, different goals, and all that coming up at the end of the video, as well as something special that I want to offer you. So if you're interested, stay tuned for that. So the first question is, how soon before? Okay, so in other words, we're focusing on meal timing in this case. We're going to talk both about meal timing and exactly what you should have, how much carbs, how much protein, and all that stuff. But before I dive in, I do want to reiterate that this is still the small picture thinking. If we look at the pyramid of importance, the hierarchy of importance when it comes to what you want to do to either build muscle or lose fat, this is very high up on that pyramid, meaning it's not one of the more important building blocks of how you're going to achieve that goal. So be sure to focus on all the other things that I preach on a daily, constant basis on both my Instagram and the YouTube to help you get to those goals quickly. This is, again, just little details that aren't too significant. So once you have those down, these things could make a slight difference. So when it comes to meal timing, okay, you know, what time should I have something? 30 minutes before, 2 hours before? Should I go empty stomach? A lot of this is going to depend on a couple of things, but the general recommendation is going to be somewhere between 1 to 2 hours before your workout. Again, why I say it comes down to general preference, recommendation, and lifestyle is because I know a lot of people that work out first thing in the morning and they prefer to do it fasted. So there's going to be some trial and error. If you find that working out fasted works well for you, then by all means. In my case, it doesn't. But here's the deal. When it comes to that 1 to 2 hour range for recommendations, you can have it slightly sooner before your workout, given that it's something that digests very quickly. But if it's a bigger meal, so I'll give you an example here, a bigger meal that consists of, you know, some complex carbs, some protein with fat sources in there, then this is something you'd want to have somewhere 1 to 2 hours before your workout. Myself personally, if you've been following me and you've seen my vlogs, I generally like to have something like a banana and a protein shake, and I can actually have this sometimes 30 minutes out to 45 minutes before the workout. The reason for that is because it digests a lot faster, at least for me. So again, there's going to be some trial and error, but typically the heavier the meal, the further away from your workout you want to have it, because you don't want it to be digesting in your stomach when you start a vigorous workout. So when it comes to carbs specifically, a lot of people are under the impression that when you have carbs, that's what's going to be fueling you throughout that workout. But the reality is most of your workout fuel is going to be coming from glycogen, which is stored carbs from the night or the day before. So in reality, the carbs you're going to be having pre-workout is more so for a buffer to make sure you're not getting hungry and to make sure that your blood sugar pretty leveled throughout that workout. So again, there's people that like to go fasted in the mornings, and that's totally fine, but do note you're not burning any more fat simply because you're fasted. Next up is going to be protein. You know, it's always a good idea to have some protein before your workout. And by the way, any and all studies that I link that back up what I'm saying in this video will be in the bottom of the description, so you can take a look at what I'm talking about there. But it has been shown in some of these studies that having protein before and even right after the workout is optimal for hypertrophy. However, the difference is negligible, assuming that you're getting enough protein throughout the day. So in other words, if your goal is 200 grams of protein, if you hit that 200 grams but it's not optimally placed around the workout, the difference is going to be negligible, and it's not something to stress about. This also plays into that whole anabolic window that a lot of people are still, unfortunately, under that impression that, you know, 20 minutes of protein before or after your workout is key. That's actually not the case at all. So again, my recommendation is just simply going to come down to, if you have something that's very low fat, for example, the banana and the protein shake, which by the way, I do recommend if you don't have issues with this, have it somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour before your workout, simply because any more than that, the quick digesting foods are probably going to get you feeling hungry throughout that workout, and that's the last thing you want. My other recommendation, if you're going to have a heavier meal, something like this, right, where you've got veggies, you've got things that are going to take longer to digest, have it 1 to 2 hours before your workout, because if you have this right before the workout, workout, obviously it's going to lead to some GI issues, some irritation, bloating, and other unwanted things. Now, we're going to get into the specific goals, right? So I've got goals written here for those who are trying to cut fat and those who are trying to build muscle. There's some different recommendations. So when it comes to your recommendation, if you're trying to lose fat, okay, and we're getting real technical here, right? So again, these aren't things to stress over until you have all the other things in place. I understand that I'm being very redundant with that, but it's very important that you follow that principle. So when it comes to protein, the ideal, okay, again, super technical, amount of protein it should contain is 0.2 grams per pound of your body weight and roughly 20% of your total carb intake. This should be pre-workout if you're looking to cut, and if you're milk at that extra 1% potential of improved muscle retention when you're cutting. Again, the carbs before the workout is important because if you've been in a deficit for a long time, as I've explained previously, and you go in fasted or you haven't had carbs in a long time, since you've been in a caloric deficit for so long, your body's a lot more likely to reach in towards your protein stores. So having some fuel in the tank is still a good idea when you're cutting. Now, when it comes to bulking, right? Let's say you are trying to gain mass. Actually, meal timing, pre-workout meal does become even less relevant to your results. And the reason for this is, as I've mentioned in this video right here, talking about macros for muscle gain, is that, you know, the body is not going to tap into its protein stores given that you're in a caloric surplus day to day, week to week. Your body's got a surplus of energy and it's fine. So there's a lot more flexibility in terms of what you can have before your workout. If you want to get technical, okay, 0.18 to 0.23 grams of your body weight, or sorry, grams per pound of your body weight should be in protein pre-workout to maximize hypertrophy. Again, the carbs are not even anything to worry about pre-workout. It's been shown that those amounts of protein pre and post-workout, which by the way, if you want a post-workout meal video, comment below and I'll be bringing that soon. But that's what matters most. When it comes to the carbs, again, when you're in a surplus, there's already a good chance that you've already got enough carbs in your system floating around from that day before, from the overconsumption, that you're gonna be fueled, you're gonna maximize your performance in the gym regardless. And that is, of course, assuming that you're not trying to do keto for muscle gain, which let's just assume you're not doing that. Anyways, those are some basic recommendations, some things to keep in mind. And you know, if you found that this video was very bare bones, very simple, good, it's supposed to be. And the real point of this video is that you should not be worrying too much about this. But the other reason, and the main reason I make content in the first place, is to save time and to simply point to a specific video or a piece of content that I've made in the past to help answer such redundant questions like this one, not to mention unimportant redundant questions. So with that being said, the one thing I want to offer for you today is a free 10-minute call with myself. If you're interested in building muscle, losing fat, then you can click the link down below. It's going to open up my calendar. You can book in a 10-minute call for free, by the way. I'm not charging, for free with myself. We'll look over your goals. We'll see where you're at and where you want to go to see if and how I can help you get there. So if you're interested, click that link below and we'll talk soon. Besides that, thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful to some degree, whether it's from the basic overall picture you need to be focusing on or from the actual technical perspective that you're looking to take advantage of. I hope that you found it helpful, and I want to say thank you so much for watching the video. As always, give it a like, thumbs up, share with your friends, comment below, and subscribe if you haven't yet, because I'm going to be dropping more weekly content. So thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.